Good morning. Welcome to our press review this morning. How are you? This is Good Morning Anambra Wednesday edition when we communicate with our people in our local language. So, kekunume. Unapata kwa tutu. Unalaru kwa le no yen laru naputula. Like for buzionu anaba when you go to bed without food. Yeah, eat a tabulo ku. Ikata go ina snow go bed. Chena ola na atoge ama na afọ na atage. Ndo kaina bambo because anya brondi ayo anya bopundi ana emetala ebele because I zulu I kalepule ihe na eme I zulu ihe na eme kalia ya kalia dalu no afam bijama uche ije na chieta ngwabu no nya money ano then anya bi dey fine way for you people now that Odima, we welcome you back. No tutua, oye nonye lomuka iwe ne banyaya ni akwụkwọ nta akụkọ nke taa bụ Barrister Moses Ugbo eziokwu na ọ bụ onye ọkaiwu ọ bụkwa public affairs analyst ndị na-etinye okwu ka ife si tinye ọnụ ka ife okwu si gbatakwụlụ n'obodo. Anyị na-anabata gị Barrister.
Ụtụtụ ọma ndị Anambra na-ege anyị ntị.
Ọ dị mma.
Daalụ.
No. Yes, can you just now contact coffee finding with I want about 7 papers to look at. We have Daily Times, we have the Punch newspaper, we have the Vanguard, Daily Independence, the Guardian, the Nation, Daily Post, I've seen this one, the Blueprint, and then the Business Times. Okay, these are the papers but I go for this morning. Now, we are beginning with Daily Times newspaper. And if Mbo Anye Fulaiba, 24 hours to nationwide protest, Stormers as organizers reject IGP's no street procession offer. With some riders there, talks threaten Lagos protesters as court confines demonstrations to parks. Nigerian Correctional Service declares custodial centers red zones. Okay, and then COS down here, COS kick petition NUC over indiscriminate release of detained kidnappers. Okay, former Delta Commissioner kidnapped inside church. Police orderly shot dead, others injured. This is where we'll find ourselves in recent times. Very, very unfortunate stories. Okay, the Punch newspaper, hardship protest, security agencies occupy Abuja venue as IG organizers disagree. Hardship protest, security agencies occupy Abuja venue as IG organizers disagree. And then soldiers, police in show of force nationwide, court restricts Lagos protesters to 2 venues. Court kwa hanonye jigo court hwaputakwa ike wukwa. Okay, Vanguard newspaper protest organizers list convergence points for rallies. But on top of the name template, we'll have the story. Federal government hands over 400 CNG keys to transporters in 4 states. Also here, federal government suspends duty on rice, flour, other essential food items. Learn from Kenya's bitter experience, Bishop warns. Who is she warning? The protesters or the government? Okay, you may need to pick your papers and get details of this. But down here, let's see what we can still get from here. Okay, no more stories. Let's look at another paper before we start talking. The Daily Independence. Organizers IGP Ebotokun disagree on confined protest. With some riders, protesters ask IGP for details of officers to protect them. Court restricts protest in Lagos to Freedom Peace Park. Okay, and then hoodlums threaten to deal with protesters in Lagos. Can you imagine? Who can write this kind of thing on the pages of newspaper that hoodlums are threatening innocent protesters? And nobody's picking them. Nobody. So they have union. They have association. Oh, gosh. Okay, let's look at the last stories here before we start talking. That's still coming from Daily Independent. Tinubu Uzodinma Abiodun Oni seek unity of Southern monarchs, and Reps Speaker asks protesters to shelve action in nation's interest. Pacify Nigerians, not threat inducement. SGF Lawa tells Tinubu, pacify Nigerians. I think that's what we should be doing now, and not all these threats. Federal government declares custodial centers red zones, warns protesters not to go close. Okay, why we can't join planned nationwide protests by ACF? Who are the ACF? Okay, Arewa Consultative Forum. Okay, let's start talking. Barrister Ubo. Okay, hope I got that name. Yes. Some people call it Ubo. Okay, you know, there's not much to talk about today rather than what is trending and what is about to kick off by tomorrow. That's 1st August. That is the nationwide protest. So,
I'm so surprised that this protest is raising so much dust in Nigeria. It is the right of citizens to protest. Protest is a normal thing, an everyday thing. So I wonder why the government is so disturbed. Their handlers, I wonder why they are so perturbed about this protesting, blowing it out of proportion. I wonder what the issues are. What are they actually afraid of? What are they afraid of? You see. So at least the government of the day, the policy makers of the day, at least they should be comfortable with the fact na protest and we date. Making a date, more limited time frame or run. So what is now the fear? Be organized. So what is the issue? Allow the protest to come and go. Look at the grievances of the people, and then
having conversation with the organizers. And somebody will come out and tell us that we don't know who are the organizers. Who are they having these discussions with? Don't go there, don't go there. And then the organizers telling them, no, you don't have to do this. We don't have, okay, if you say we should give you, because that was why when it started trending, we should give you the names of those that are going to participate in the protest. And the organizers are now asking them, give us the names and details of the officers, officers that are coming out for the protest too. So it's organized. Who is afraid of what?
Very organized. And you see, we are familiar with this Nigerian scenario. The next thing that will happen now is that hoodlums, faceless persons will be sponsored to come and destabilize what is going on.
Daily Times call them thugs, and then Punch call them hoodlums.
So hoodlums can be captured in the face of newspaper, saying that they will disrupt a peaceful protest. And then the officers, the security agencies are not going after these hoodlums. They are not, you see, the protest in question, a group of persons had singled themselves out to protest against the general hardship. Everybody is partaking in this hardship. And then we expect the public, which the armed forces, the police, the Nigerian police force, also part of this public, we expect them to encourage the process so it can be peaceful. But in as much as we keep throwing checks, they have rushed to court for foreign shopping to get one kangaroo injunction restraining. That's the issue. What they call party restraining the protesters.
Yesterday night.
Whereas protests already ongoing in some places. I saw protests to stop protest. What does that mean? That is also a protest. So who are the sponsors of those ones? The government. Sponsoring persons to come out and say, no protest, we're not interested in protest. The same government that says they don't want protest, they are also encouraging persons to come out and protest against protest.
So everybody's protesting?
Yes.
Nigeria is in fact protesting, the thugs, the hoodlums are protesting, the government is protesting,
exactly.
Even the judiciary is protesting by endorsing that restriction. The judiciary is also protesting, so we're all protesting. Let's look at the nature of protest. Somebody said yesterday that there has been protests here and there, just like you mentioned now. After that, some people have been sitting at home for the past 3 years or more. Is that not a form of protest? And nobody has said anything. Nobody has asked them how to sit, whether to sit or lie or come out. And nobody is saying, why are they afraid of this one? This other protest that is coming up now.
You see, fear of unknown. In developed countries, protest, even here in Nigeria as it should be, protest is the constitutional right of citizens. They have that right to protest, right to peaceful assembly, right to peaceful protest, right to air your view. Where have the fundamental human rights gone to? People want to exercise their rights. Allow them. The best you can do is to make sure that the rank and file of the protesters are not infiltrated by troublemakers and thugs.
But
that's the best you can do.
The thugs are already out.
Already out, and nobody is cautioning them. You see, nobody is holding them accountable. You see, and this is what it will end up hitting up the polity, and things will degenerate beyond control.
Okay, let's look at the Punch newspaper and where they are coming from. They say security agencies occupy Abuja venue as IG organizers disagree. Now you ask them to stay at a venue, okay, and then the security agencies have occupied that venue. Who are the protesters now? Is it the security agencies that have occupied the venue? If they occupy that place, where are the protesters going to be if they are eventually agree to stay at a place? You see, you just create a kind of scares, fears in the mind of people. I don't even know why that's this perturbed. Some of us were saying that, why don't you just relax? Now, you might be surprised that when the pharmacy, they will get back to the house. No, I may be fan, maybe confrontational. Don't go here, but don't go here. Yes,
things will degenerate.
Okay.
Exactly.
But in my protest, organizers list convergence points for rallies. And then, because when you are coming to those places, as to get Jebekwa, you go through the streets. Makonwe kesi, mfugo, the ones mfugo. Ndin kesi oka will move. Maybe na game meet na mobi, and that mobi will come. The Enugu will come. While you are coming, you are moving.
You still have to use the road.
Okay, you are moving in a line to come to that place. So you still have to use the street. Okay, let's take a break and look at this story here. COS Kicks petition AUSA for indiscriminate release of detained kidnappers. Okay, sometimes we have heard why some of these soldiers are, in the social media, why they are expressing their fears and their anger. Na nyetacha fufu mucho wanyi ade 7 where jebabo somebody 2 ganata ibo mother 5 and then mother 2 are mother never jidete eyotago abebazia tinye fa na age before you know it release the fa. So can you see why should we go and sacrifice our lives to work for the nation, and at the end of the day ndi wanyi jide just like ifenemekwana ugwawsa about the terrorists, the terrorists very soon ndi jide fa boza their colleague as na fa was a part of the system na ha boza ndami bolondi police fa na fa na alokopolo igotago. So how do you see this kind of
it's a serious security issue. When alarms of this nature is raised, we expect the government to constitute an independent committee of inquiry to actually look into this, take papers, find out exactly what is going on, because an alarm of this nature is not a child's play at all. Because everybody knows what is going on in Nigeria, the insecurity, the wanton waste, killing of lives and property, banditry here and there. So an alarm of this nature, we expect the government of the day to be up and doing. We expect them to find out, because obviously something is wrong somewhere. There is no smoke without fire. Something is terribly wrong somewhere, because if justice is no longer seen or observed in the process, then you end up weakening the armed forces. You are indirectly weakening them, because there is no gain, there is no essence. So, and the protection of life and property is the number one thing as far as the government, the responsibility of the government is concerned. So we expect them to look into this complaint, raise an independent inquiry, find out what is going on. As many as there are that have been arrested over time, where are they? What has happened? How many of these cases are in court? If they are detained, where are they being detained? This unrestricted amnesty or what have you has no place in our laws. So we expect those who are suspects of terrorism and what have you, they should go through the due process, the justice system of the law. If at the end of the day they are found guilty, they should serve the terms. If they are not, then they should be released through the due process, not by order from above or what have you. So that's exactly what we see. So we encourage the government of the day, those are the helm of affairs, to have the political will to do things right.
Okay. All right, let's look at some of these measures that the government is putting in place to ameliorate the sufferings in the society. Yesterday, we saw Nafas Nafage Lebeze rice, 50 kg bag of rice. How much? 40,000 naira. And then Nage Bunyebeze Dangote crude oil from here, less than a naira. And this morning, we are seeing this one, federal government suspends duty on rice, flour, other essential food items. Are all these shortcut measures meant to stop the protest, or is it going to be a long-term something that this is the way it's going to be moving forward?
You see, a very good one. It shows that the envisaged protest is already yielding results. And we keep saying that protest is right and in order. We are equally informing the protesters. We all are part of the protesters. We are saying it should be peaceful. It will be peaceful. It will be done within the ambits of the law. In international community, what we call it is peaceful protest. That is the right thing. And we are telling the police, the armed forces, and what have you, to take only lawful orders. They should take only lawful orders. These persons, the youths who are protesting, they are equally your sons. They are citizens. They have the right to do what they are doing. Protect them within the ambits of the law. Any high and mighty anywhere that tells you do this, shoot at civilians who are protesting. We expect you to do the right thing, because the same constitution that is a working document for whoever is in power is still the same working document for you. And that working document says take only lawful orders. Don't go out of your way to do things arbitrarily because you have the gun with you. Because Oga had said you should do this. You are, as a person, you are answerable to whatever you do at any point in time. So that is it on that. And then concerning the measures the government of the day is putting in place. Yes, it's yielding desired results. We don't want to hear rhetorics anymore. We are tired. 50 kg of rice being sold for at where? At where? Where is the market? We want to know what is going on.
Just like the palliatives. So
is it in the pages of newspaper or what have you? So we want to see action match those words. People need to see the sincerity in government. That is the problem. Why we fed up with the system is because we believe that is how it have always been. It's just stories. It's just words. At the end of the day, we'll go back to what it used to be. So people need to feel the impact. Subsidy is said to have been removed. And then we have it on good authority that subsidy is still being paid through the back door. So what's going on?
Who is fooling who?
So the ordinary man on the street, there is no impact in governance. There's no impact in leadership. Nothing is happening. Look at power.
What are they doing with this money Fana accumulates? Nah.
So people need to feel the impact. They need to see that the government of the day understands their plight and is willing to go out of its way to make things right.
Yeah. Okay. Learn from Kenya's bitter experience. Bishop warns. And I asked when I was doing that, who is it warning? Is it warning the protesters or warning the government? And what are the Kenya's bitter experience? How can we evaluate, of course, they're still in protest. So how can we evaluate Kenya's protest so far?
You see, looking at what is happening in Kenya, ordinarily, that's part of the reason why the government of the day is afraid. Because it's like a spillover. Started with Kenya and all of that. Even before now, the Arab world and what have you. So today in Kenya, things has gone out of hand. It can no longer be controlled. Because from onset, when you go through and read the events of the previous weeks, you see that from onset, the government came out full-blown against peaceful protesters, and it became an issue.
Killed
and the whole thing degenerated.
And it was that killing the protest that led that.
Exactly, the whole thing degenerated because you now see other persons, you see citizens now resorting to self-help. And then at the end of the day, it's the
when the people that are supposed to protect you are now killing you, you have to help yourself to live.
So, and the people now had no option. So as it stands, things had so degenerated that it has gone out of control. The last time we saw in the news the president weeping openly and pleading with the people to allow normalcy to be restored and what have you. You see. So all we are saying is the government have a lesson to learn in that regard. The citizens also have a lesson to learn in that regard. It's a peaceful protest.
Ima, I kept saying, stop this confrontational statements. Was it last week that I read from the newspaper where the vice president was calling the protesters idiots? That those that are planning to protest are idiots and low-life people and that kind of thing. You don't do that kind of thing as a leader. Okay? Now, the president of Kenya, now, what he would have done earlier, if he had done that earlier, maybe in Hakali, Meli, say, okay, Kaira Puziano, Nebela, Anyakwa. Kai was a way away so be. Ibucha and the madam, Mecha, or Sefi, Messifeni game. That's it. Why don't you apply those things now? So that's if I really were Eboge, business subu. The Otagmani Manai will be written over there.
Instead of looking at the issues,
I'm telling you,
looking at the issues.
Believing now, okay, again, let's look at other papers. The Guardian newspaper is the next paper this morning. Guardian newspaper, banner headline: Real estate slow justice system compounds investment uptake, 100 billion naira loss yearly. Okay, and other stories from there. Do we have other stories of empty ATMs as a threat to CBS cashless policy? Okay, tension as joint security forces parade Ibadan. Doing what? Okay, Ohaneze faction knock Obi over endorsement of protest. Okay, Eric Air kicks as NEMA grounds aircraft over $2.5 million debt. Address Nigerians reshuffle cabinet to staff off protest. SSGF tells Tinubu, you see what we are saying? He has not even talked. He has not even said anything. Make a nationwide broadcast. Lead to your children. You know? Okay. Empowerment. Yobe gives. Okay. It's not. The federal government wants protesters declares custodial centers red zones. Okay. Keep warning and warning and warning. The Nation newspaper is our next paper. Court restricts protesters to Freedom Peace Parks in Lagos. Customs suspends import duties on essential food items. I don't know. 80,000 apply for 110 billion naira youth investment fund within 72 hours. Okay, for now. EFCC grace NAFCON boss over 90 billion naira Hajj fund. It's the same in a protest. Okay, do we have any other story of interest? No. Also, Saudi Africa, every time I go mad. People don't have 1,000 naira matagarenya omufa. And I put bulu 90 billion naira. I put as a protest. It's a femina. Okay, Daily Trust. Organizers meet IGP, insists on street protest. And then the riders say, federal government declares custodial centers red zone. Tinubu needs support to actualize policies. This is coming from Shetima. Okay. No other story of interest here. Guardian newspaper. I think I've seen this Guardian. Okay, I've seen Guardian. Blueprints newspaper. Okay, August protest. Police fear Boko Haram infiltration of them. Federal government declares prisons red zones. What if I would protest instead of doing the right to the Akotanka? Organizers list Eagle Square, allow Park, seize orders. Okay, Lagos court places restriction on protesters. Learn from our errors of judgments. Kenyan bishop cautions Nigerian youth. Okay, he's actually talking to Nigerian youth. Learn from our error of judgment. Kenyan bishop cautions Nigerian youth. Okay. Maybe the president needs to caution our own president too. Okay, that's all we're taking from that paper. Let's look at our last paper. That's the Business Times. Global commerce going through troubling times. DG WTO says future of trade lay in services, digitization, green economy. Okay, other stories coming from here. Why federal government's palliatives will not address food inflation. Maybe palliative might be done. It just be giving people food like beggars. The other day I saw in Kebu for both of dust, no to about Pechago he had over the years. You know, and I insult your sensibility. Give us a level playing ground. We don't need palliatives. We are not beggars. Nigerians are hard working people.
Exactly.
You know, do we still have any stories coming from here? I don't think so. Federal government pledges to promote farmers, the soil health card scheme. I hope it would not GMO products. Okay, federal government grounds over 2.5 million naira debt and urgent action needed to address food inflation. Action aid. All these and many more are the stories you find from the pages of newspaper that we have reviewed this morning. You just go out, pick the papers, and read any one of interest and get details. Okay, Barrister Ubo. Yeah. Any story of interest you want to talk about before I shoot?
On this issue of palliative, I saw why FG's palliative will not address food inflation. You see, the ordinary man on the street need to feel the impact of governance. For once, let the ordinary man on the street feel the impact of governance. The last time they said it's a conditional cash transfer, and then the whole thing floated on the air. Now, a few weeks ago, it's about a loan, educational loan, and all that, and we saw everything shrouded in so much secrecy, and what have you. Now, the EEDC, as we know it to be today, energy had gone so high that even the ordinary man on the street can no longer afford it. Subsidies started to have been removed. So we are calling the right palliative is subsidy. Let leadership, let there be direct impact of governance on the people. Let people feel that impact. That should be the right, not coming to share cups of rice, sachets of Indomie, and what have you in the name of Indomie, in the name of palliative. And you see people stampeding themselves just to have a share. It's a mess. So there's nothing like palliative anywhere, right from COVID till today. Go to the warehouses of political office holders. You see them stockpiling food meant for the people. So it has never worked. It has not worked. So we want to see the government of today do things right. Let people feel direct impact. And finally, we call on the handlers, the government, the policy makers to please allow people to exercise their constitutional right. Allow protest. Protect the people within the ambits of the law. And the organizers of the protest, we that are ready and eager to protest, it will be done within the ambit of the law. It will be a peaceful protest. We don't want things to degenerate. Because at the end of the day, he that blows the piper dictates the tune. It will still fall back on us. We don't want to do things that will aggravate the hardship on the common man. As it stands today, most of them, the political elites and what have you, they had fled the country in the name of leave, in the name of vacation, in the name of, because of fear of what is to come. So Nigeria is still ours. So let's handle it with care.
Okay. Perhaps because of what they have planned it to turn to, like they are planning it to turn to crisis. Otherwise, why would we be bringing out or allowing thugs and hoodlums to come and attack protesters? Is it not you now planning violence in your own nation? Okay, somebody talked about the president addressing Nigerians. How do you see that one? Tomorrow, okay, maybe we'll still do that today because the protest is taken up tomorrow.
It's late.
Is it late?
It's late. Things are getting out of hand. That's what. Yes. That's what we expect. Governors of all the states in Nigeria should also address their people. They should also, people need to hear directly from those in power. That is the issue in this country. They will ignore you to a point that when the chiefs are down, the damage will be repairable. So we expect President Tinubu to address Nigerians. Tell us what you have in stock for us. Tell us going forward, what do we expect in Nigeria? The usual rhetorics, and let's give it to us.
But you also say you expect the governors to speak too.
Yes,
but the news I read this morning, I saw the president of the Ohanese Ndigbo addressing, that's Anambra chapter, addressing the youth not to join in the protest. So how do you see that one?
It's within his right to address the youths not to do so.
Okay, let's combine it with this story. Ohanese, the faction knocks Obi over endorsement of protest. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. You see, it's within his right, just like I said, and any right-thinking person will not talk down on protest or come against protest, because protest is provided by law. It's constitutional to protest. But what we are saying, because of the configuration of Nigeria today, I understand their biases and the sentiments. Because usually, because of the war happened in the last elections and all of that, usually in the Nigerian configuration, the Igbo man is always made the scapegoat. So, and that is why you have the call in various places, telling our youths to be careful. What I have always said, from my own personal point of view, is let the protest begin from the north, let it begin from the west. Let us see what they are doing.
Yeah, but the north is the west is resisting the protest more than another. We have not heard much. Okay, we saw FGF say, I
was saying, yes.
Saying something about not joining it, but I don't think so.
At least I am happy for once to know that the hunger in the land is affecting everyone. Because prior to 2023 elections, it was as if it's an Igbo man's affair. When we were calling on people to make the right choices, to do things right, at the end of the day, today there is hunger in the land. Hunger doesn't know your political party.
Is it wrong for Peter Obi to have endorsed the protest?
It is not wrong.
It's not the only one. I think a lot of people
not wrong in any way.
Atiku did. A whole lot of people had done that.
I've done that, exactly.
Okay, but Ndigbo is, the Ohanese Ndigbo is asking their people not to.
Don't forget a faction.
A faction.
A faction.
Okay. And then, what other thing do I want us to talk about before we finally round it off? Okay, I don't know. Okay, just address our people in your own way before we go on.
Anambarians and every other person listening to us from all over the world, what we are saying is that peaceful assembly, peaceful protest is our constitutional right. Conduct yourself lawfully. Conduct yourself lawfully. Whatever you do within the ambits of the law is right. We say there must be protest. There are different forms of protest. We here were already protesting. Everyone is protesting. Various institutions today are home, they are on strike. It's also a form of protest. When we go to the market today, we can no longer afford basic food for the people. It's also another form of protest. So we are saying everything that should be done within the ambit of the law. We should not allow hoodlums, criminals infiltrate the process and then use that against the people at the end of the day. And we are equally calling on the law enforcement agencies, we are calling on the armed forces to please take lawful orders. I keep saying that, take lawful orders. Do not fire at unarmed civilians exercising their constitutional right. It is your duty to protect them. When an order is given to you that is not lawful, the Constitution says you should resist an unlawful order. Because at the end of the day, when the chiefs are down, you will be called to answer for it. And what comes around, what goes around comes around. Whatever you do, all these armed forces, all these officers of the law, be it from the Commissioner of Police, the IG, and what have you, we have our various families equally. And there's one thing about injustice. Every injustice done must be addressed. If not by man, definitely by God.
Okay. Thank you very much. Barrister Moses Ugbo, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and that's where we're drawing the curtain on today's edition of Press Review. And I'd like to ask you to please be careful out there. Be careful, stay free, stay safe wherever you are, and make sure that you are not part of the problem. That's just what I want to tell you this morning. My name is Tijama. God bless you.